She-Hulk seemed like they were setting up for a season 2, and only because of how much subtle world building they did. Of course, all of the groundwork was mostly laid for what's coming up in Captain America Brave New World with the Intelligentsia and the Leader. They also set all of the groundwork up for the rumored World War Hulk project that we still, fingers crossed, hope that we'll hear announced from Marvel at some point in the future, with having Mark Ruffalo's Hulk go off-world back to Sakaar and then return with Scar. Speaking of which, Scar suffered the exact same fate as a lot of other characters we were introduced to in Marvel Phase 4 who showed up right at the end of a movie or TV show or in the post-credit scene, no immediate indication of where they're ever going to show up again or where their story goes. That being said, I heavily expect She-Hulk Season 2 to have this as part of the core element of the storyline. That's where the storyline started, and there's not another place for it really to happen between now and when the multiverse saga is peaking or headed into its conclusion. Do you sort of expect to see Bruce Banner entering Brave New World? I mean, everybody else from that first Hulk film is coming back. You would assume only naturally he's going to show up, but that's not going to be the place where they can explain what's going on with Scar and what's really happening with Bruce Banner. It could be the case that they use a World War Hulk project to show that entire decline, but there's still plenty of story to tell. This would be the place for it. So if anything, my second reaction to this, after just assuming it was always going to be a second season, is I'm getting a little more excited now because this is one of the places that they can focus on Bruce Banner again. We may see him in some places in the MCU, say a cameo, in a third act action sequence against Red Hulk, or maybe even in Deadpool 3 Wolverine, where an alternate version of him, still Savage, can fight. I think that would be amazing, but still, none of this is going to focus on Scar. Expect that to be She-Hulk Season 2, whatever's going on with Bruce Banner's character to lead to the Hulk. The second part of this, and the main reason to do a She-Hulk Season 2, is to show her road now from just She-Hulk all the way into the new Avengers team, which was always going to showcase. We said this in the previous quote, sort of cryptically, but not so cryptically, should be alongside Samuels as Captain America, Captain Marvel, etc. That was always the goal for She-Hulk in the future of the MCU, is the new Avengers squad. That said, this show should focus on that. It sort of harkens back to some recent quotes we've covered twice on the channel from Disney CEO Bob Iger, who said he looked to what we did correctly with Marvel in the past. Nothing off of the Marvel brand, but we focused on the Avengers, and we're back to that. That should be the main goal of Season 2, is to show her maturation from She-Hulk and what's going on with her into a role on the new Avengers squad, and that'll happen simultaneously with the other projects that they've got around it. I expect we will show that next round of slate announcements from Marvel, whenever that is. They may be a year or two off actually filming it, but I definitely assume it'll be amongst the titles. We'll do a video here on the channel talking about what that's going to look like here pretty soon. Now, what I will say is that this is not an auto W, because She-Hulk did have some fair and unfair white noise. Unfair white noise surrounding the show, well, I talk about that on the channel all the time. People are going to be people. You don't have to have a reason not to like something, but the whole center of your discourse is always surrounding this one thing you don't like, and you have to aggressively not like it so much that, again, it comes from your personality. I would just say maybe find something you like. Talk about that, be positive, don't be negative. Again, this is YouTube. That's going to happen. The fair white noise, though, surrounding something that's CGI, some of the middle episodes being poorly written or rather dragging the show out. Same thing that's plagued a lot of the other Disney Plus series with pacing. Look, I saw the pre-screener for She-Hulk. It was the first 4 episodes all at once. I watched them back to back to back to back. I could obviously forgive some of the things that were going on with the CGI. The pacing was not bad, but when they dragged those first 4 episodes out over a month, they got into the slog in the middle part. Well, it's just happened too often where maybe some of the episodes in the middle, as you're waiting around for the finale, don't do anything, and then the finale rushes through. For that finale, I don't think a lot of people were expecting. Certain Marvel fans were just wanting Red Hulk or wanting a villain to show up, and then it was this meta commentary on what the MCU was to become anyway, which for some people is fine. Some people I know absolutely loved that. It was on brand for She-Hulk. They were actually expecting something like that at the time. I'm not saying this is an auto-rated quality, but I think there's things that they can learn from the original series. Hopefully improve the CGI, and if Bob Iger is true to his word about acting on a directive and focusing on the Avengers, maybe the series have a lot more stakes for what's going on with that character as it leads up to the team. So not only are there consequences for the series, but there's a reason for the show. There's an actual something that's happening. Now, cameos are great. I definitely want Daredevil back, and I'd actually be really surprised with 18 episodes if we don't see Tatiana Maslany and She-Hulk show up at some point during the Daredevil series. It hasn't been confirmed just yet, but by all indications, it seems like a place for it. The way that they really win, though, is they don't try to make it a law show and not have any law writers. If they're doing right by the upcoming Daredevil series, which has been set to focus on the courtroom quite a bit, that will absolutely expose how poorly She-Hulk was written as a law show, and the writers have admitted that none of them had any experience writing for law, courtrooms, or court scenes. Just don't make it about being a court show and leave that out of it. There's plenty of cool She-Hulk stuff that you can do. Guys, I have been the same way with my fandom since day one. I biasly love everything because I'm a Marvel fan. I did enjoy She-Hulk. I did not think it was the worst offline on Disney Plus by Marvel by far. Also, just in the strictest sense of the word for criticism, to critique something in a literary sense, I also think the writing is having a lot of problems, and they are also missing why and how we root for superheroes, something we were absolutely nailing during the Infinity Saga, something we're also poignantly reminded by the Spider-Verse movies of why we like this stuff so much in the first place. We just got to get our way back to that. Hopefully, we have to find Bob Iger have a plan to do so. And now with She-Hulk Season 2, they can make a better run of it. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, reaction to all this news, fight for World War Hulk, all of it. I'm all ears for you. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away the PlayStation 5 YouTube channel. We've got 3 to go before the end of the year. We're also going to be giving some comic giveaways during Loki season, just a month and a half. So, what is the link? All you gotta do, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more things you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of the videos, the same way we do here, live with my voice in the comments here on the screen. The best way to keep up with the content is always making hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it. Hit the like button. My name's Michael Brett.
Man, shut the fuck up. With your sorry ass mic.
Stick around because
You still sorry, bitch. Shut up talking with your bum ass. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Shut up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut up.
Live action Batman film since 1989. Use the chapter markers to skip ahead, or just sit back and enjoy the recap. In Gotham City, the citizens are protected by a hero. Some doubt his existence, write him off as urban legend, but others know the truth. That all criminals should be treated bad, and the hero has his work cut out for him. Gotham That's the new district attorney Martin Dan's platform. He promises to root out the syndicate in their city and make Gotham a safe place for peace. That syndicate is led by Carl Grissom and his right-hand man, Jack Napier. Not only does Carl have to worry about Harvey, but there's also the matter of Jack stealing his wife. Something Jack thinks Carl is aware of. At the Gotham Court, Alexander Knox is not by his callings to covering Batman, who is obviously false. But at his desk, he finds a woman who reads his stories, renowned photographer Vicky Vale. She proposes they work together for a story on the hero. Knox enthusiastically agrees, but it'll be tough. The best place to start is reporting. Knox knows he has a file on Batman, but hasn't been able to reach the commissioner. But Vale has an idea. Gordon will be at Bruce Wayne's benefit party, and she has 2 tickets. Elsewhere, Grissom ends. Jack is investigating Axis Chemicals, one of the syndicate's many fronts. He asks Jack to personally oversee the operation and clear the place out for the investigators. And Jack is unaware Grissom is setting him up. The mob boss calls Lieutenant Eckhart, one of Gotham PD on Grissom's payroll, to arrange for a hit on Jack at Axis Chemicals. Retribution for sleeping with his wife. At Wayne's benefit, Knox has no luck getting answers from Gordon, and soon the commissioner is called away by an anonymous tip. Napier's cleaning out Axis Chemicals. Later, as Knox and Vale poke around Wayne Manor, they bump into Bruce. He knows Knox is writing in Vale's bookers. Their talk is interrupted by Bruce's butler, Alfred, who lets him know Commissioner Gordon was called away unexpectedly. Alfred's knowing gaze tells Bruce that he'll need to be Batman. In the Batcave, Bruce watches footage recorded from one of the Kingpin at the party and learns where the commissioner is headed, Axis Chemicals, a place where the corrupt Lieutenant Eckhart and his men prepare to kill his suspected attack. But inside, when but he's going to be out of town for a few days. On her way out, she learns that this is a lie when Alfred is confused by her mention of the travels. Elsewhere, the Joker and the other final spirits have he's taken over. When Mark holds his hand, the Joker shakes his hand, and a small device in his palm reduces the man to a smooth skeleton. He brings in his arm punches, then tells the others to leave and think it over. With the room cleared, Joker tells Bob to follow the reporter Knox and see what he knows about that. Later, Vicky follows Bruce Wayne unseen. She spies on his visit to an unassuming street corner where he solemnly composes. And she follows him to a press conference where Ricorso, one of Jack's fellow crime lords, announces that Grissom left all his assets in town. Then, in front of Bruce, Vicky, Knox, and the public, the Joker makes his debut, assassinating Grissom. At Wayne Manor, Alfred presses Bruce to see Vicky. Alfred knows he likes him. Bruce refuses, saying he can't go on with that right now. And Alfred asks, if not now, when? And Bruce quietly answers, never. And Bruce isn't the only one thinking like it. At his lair, Joker looks at Bob's photos of Knox and spots her among them. Joker is immediately smitten by her. Later, he spreads his hands. He produces a new drug called Smilex, and a few have already suffered its effect. 2 models were found dead, with faces frozen in grotesque smiles. And on live TV, a newscaster laughs uncontrollably, suffering the same thing. As the public watches, Joker takes over the airwaves to announce the drug and warns that it's already been dispersed among them, hidden in everyday products. After another 13 deaths, Gotham's public is overjoyed by Lennox and Joker's Smilex. At Wayne Manor, Alfred gets a call from Vicky to let Bruce know she'll be waiting to meet him in the museum. The only problem is, Bruce was unaware of this meeting because it wasn't him who arranged it.
Thanks.
The Joker. She arrives at the museum and receives a gift from Mark Bergen. She puts on the protective mask as the place fills with gas, knocking out the other patrons. Then the Joker and his goons dance in the museum while vandalizing the car. She reaches Vicky and demands she tell him what she knows about Batman. And as he threatens her, the hero emerges. With the Batmobile's help, they mostly evade the Joker.
That's me.
Catch up. Batman brings Vicky to safety, and she takes some photos as he brawls with the Joker's thugs. Then he brings Vicky back to the Batcave. There, he shows her what he's learned investigating the Joker. The Batman has snuck Smilex into chemicals at the source, manufacturing plants. It isn't just hidden in one product, plus many. However, the drug only activates when combined. Hairspray alone won't do it. But hairspray mixed with lipstick and perfume will be toxic and untraceable. He tells her to take the evidence to the press, but she tells him that might be tough. Not everyone trusts Batman. You're not exactly normal, are you? She asks. It's not exactly a normal world, is it? In response. Then he steals the film of photos she took of him and brings them home. When Vicky wakes, she speaks with Knox and gets the Gotham Globe to print Batman's story, warning the public of the specific products to avoid. Infuriated, Joker vows to Bob that he will kill Batman. Meanwhile, Bruce pays Vale a visit and brings flowers. She wastes no time telling Bruce how he hurt her, ignoring her calls and lying about being in town. He tries to explain himself. He tries to find the words to tell her that he's Batman. But they're interrupted by the doorbell and the arrival of the Joker. The Joker asks Bruce if he's ever danced with the devil on the hill. Then shoots him and serenades Vicky before leaving. She returns to find Wayne gone, apparently having protected himself from the hidden devil. Vale returns to the Gotham.
No call, gang? God damn.
Later, the mayor announces the cancellation of Gotham's upcoming bicentennial festival, since they can't guarantee safety. But Joker hijacks the airwaves to announce his own festival. At midnight, he will dump $20 million for the crowd.
I can't wait till the next 2K where all these niggas be just jumping at you when they ain't got no defense.
Bruce watches the broadcast from his cave and thinks of the night his parents were killed. He remembers the killer saying something. You ever danced
tells her that it's something he needs to do, because no one else can. And he loves her too. But right now, the Joker is out there, and he's got to get to work. Batman drives to Axis Chemicals and blows it up. Then Joker kicks off his festival with a large clown. This really so wonderful crowds as Knox and Baby arrive and report on Gotham. As Joker wins over the crowd's favor, he activates the cloak to really smile at the crowd. Through her camera, Vicky spots the gas tanks and runs into the bar for safety. Knox grabs a gas mask, and Gotham citizens die and smiles on their faces. Batman flies in with his Batwing, grabs the Joker's balloons, and releases them high into the sky, rendering them harmless. "He stole my balloons!" Joker shouts, then shoots by. In the skies above Gotham, the Batwing flies in the pale moonlight, then returns fire at Joker and his army. But Joker takes him down with a large pistol. Vicky looks for Bruce in the wreckage, but all she finds is the Joker with his gun, and he takes her hostage. Joker brings her to the top of the building. Batman follows. Joker scales the dance, while Batman fights off his thugs. Then Vicky distracts Joker, while Batman asks, "Excuse me, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" Then he punches the villain into a church bell. "I'm going to kill you," Batman promises. "You idiot," the Joker replies. "You made me, remember? You dropped me to that vat of chemicals. That wasn't me. And don't think that I didn't try." Batman freaks him and reminds him you killed my parents. "I made you made me first." They fight, and Joker manages to knock Bruce and Bale out of the cathedral's ledge. They hang, while Joker is rescued by a hanging ladder from one of his helicopters, until Batman's grappling hook catches his leg, putting the Joker in the middle of a tug of war between the gargoyle and the cockpit. The heavy stone breaks off the cathedral and hangs off the Joker's leg. He does his best to hold on, but gravity fails, plummeting the villain to his death. Then Batman's grappling hook saves him and Bale from suffering the same fate. With Gotham now safe from the Joker's reign,
killing me
Batman
out there.
gives the city a signal should they need him again, and Gordon unveils it to the citizens, a searchlight which projects the Batman symbol on Gotham's night sky. Years earlier, a baby is born with an unusual disfigurement. His form terrifies the nurses, doctors, and anyone else who sees it. The Cobblepots bring their child home, but never show him love. Instead, he's kept in a cage. And one cold night in Gotham City, the parents abandon their boy in a river. The carriage floats on dark waters until it's found by 4 Emperor penguins. 33 years later, as Christmas approaches, rumors spread of a penguin man living in Gotham sewers. Meanwhile, renowned industrialist Max Schreck pitches the mayor on a new power plant, while his secretary, Susan Maya, serves coffee. At the tree-lighting ceremony, the mayor invites Max to speak, and he flawlessly plays the part of the wins. The proceedings are interrupted by a gift from the penguin. A large gift box explodes, and like a circus from hell, clowns and costume creeps pour out of it to attack the citizens. Their target is Shredder, but he evades their capture. At Commissioner Gordon's orders, the bat signal is lit, and Bruce Wayne answers the call. Batman arrives to fight the circus gang. He finds Selina held by one of the clowns and frees her, and leaves. "Well, that was very brief," Selina says to herself, "just like all the men in my life." As Shrek walks away from the chaos, he's finally captured and brought to the Penguin's lair, located in the Arctic world at an abandoned zoo. Penguin shows off his arsenal of weaponized umbrellas and makes his proposal. He's ready to ascend from the sewers and publicly reclaim his humanity. Why should Max help? Well, what Shrek disposes of, the Penguin finds. Toxic waste from Shrek's supposedly new textile. Shredded documents proving Shrek owns half the fire traps in Gotham City. And quotes of an old business partner Shrek had killed. The Penguin sums it up. "Remember, Max, you flush it, I want it." And the Penguin's blackmail does its job. Max agrees to help. At Shrek's office, Selina digs through some files to prepare her boss for an upcoming meeting with Bruce Wayne. But she makes the mistake of looking at some detective files, which prove that Shrek's power plant will not use power, but will instead steal it from Gotham. To ensure the information doesn't leak, Shrek pushes her out of a window. Kyle lies unconscious in the snow until some alley cats wake her up. She returns to her apartment in a daze, then disposes of her old life as the lonely and downtrodden Selina Kyle. She trashes her apartment and claims her new identity by stitching together a costume in black leather and claws. On a bright day in Gotham, Penguin makes his debut. He has a member of the circus gang grab the mayor's baby so he can publicly rescue it and appear to save the day. All I want to return, he tells the camera, is a chance to find my mom and dad. Bruce watches the broadcast from home, skeptical. Later, the Penguin gets his wish. He's given access to the Hall of Records to search through birth certificates and find his parents, and learn his real name. Though Bruce tells Alfred that he thinks Penguin knows who his parents are, he's up to something else in the Hall of Records. And as the public watches, Penguin announces his findings. His real name is Oswald Cobblepot, and his parents are deceased. And though they aren't alive to hear it, Oswald forgives them. The public's hearts are warmed by the story of reconciliation, and Oswald is revered as a hero. And that night, it's not only Oswald who makes his debut, but also Catherine. Selina Kyle, disguised in skin-tight leather, prowls the streets and stops an assault. The next day, Shrek pitches Bruce on his power plant. But Bruce is rightfully skeptical and refuses to invest, accusing Shrek of working with crime cults. Max scoffs at the accusation, saying Cobblepot is innocent. Then he's shocked when Selina Kyle shows up, alive, and Bruce is later, Shrek pays Cobblepot a visit and lures him from his lair with raw fish. Penguin gnaws on the fresh snack as Shrek reveals a room full of people. Staff is gathered to run a mayoral race for Cobblepot. Oswald is skeptical of the idea and shows it, biting the nose of one staffer who comments on his appearance. But Oswald is won over by the promise of public adulation and the women he can have as mayor. Since elections have already passed, he will need to get the current mayor ousted. So, Penguin will have his gang wreak havoc until the city demands a new leader to get crime under control. Gotham quickly falls into chaos as Batman fights the circus gang in his streets. In their battle, the gang's poodle manages to steal Batman's influence batarang. Meanwhile, Catwoman pays Shrek's office building a visit and blows it up, then runs into Batman and attacks. In their fight, both walk away. Catwoman with a burn on her arm, and Batman with one of her claws in his side. But the fight ends when Batman throws her off the building, though she's saved by an oncoming truck. The next day, Oswald Cobblepot announces his bid to run Gotham. The current mayor is failing to stop the crime wave, but Cobblepot promises he can bring it to an end. After the announcement, he finds Catwoman waiting in his hideout. She proposes an alliance to remove the thorn in both their sides. Batman. Penguin wants to kill him, but Catwoman wants to ruin him first, to frame him as a villain, and Cobblepot agrees. The next day, Cobblepot publicly announces a challenge to the mayor. Relight Gotham's Christmas tree tonight, adding, "I hope and pray that Batman will be present to preserve the peace." And at home, Bruce Wayne watches. As the relighting ceremony approaches, Bruce bumps into Selina. Though he doesn't know she's Catwoman, and she doesn't know he's Batman. He invites her over for dinner, and they part. Meanwhile, Penguin kidnaps Gotham's Ice Princess, who is meant to light the tree at the ceremony. And he attacks her with the batarang to frame Batman for the kidnapping. At Wayne Manor, Bruce and Selina talk. She asks about past girlfriends, and he tells her about Vicky, how it didn't work out because she had trouble reconciling his two truths, because he had trouble reconciling them. Then they make out, while Bruce protects his side scratched by Catwoman, and Selina protects her arm burned by Batman. They're interrupted by a news report that the Ice Princess was kidnapped, and Batman's batarang is found stained in blood, pointing to him as a suspect. Both frantically excuse themselves and leave. Batman arrives at the relighting ceremony and parks his Batmobile. He turns on the usual protections, but while he looks for the Ice Princess, Penguin's movements break the car. Batman finds the princess, but Catwoman stops him from rescuing her, then drags the Ice Princess to the building's roof and leaves her on a ledge. Before Batman reaches her, Penguin releases a cauldron of bats to push her off the roof. She falls to her death, and when the citizens of Gotham look up, they see Batman and accuse him of pushing her. Police fire on him, and Batman falls to a terrace, where Catwoman finds him and straddles him. Batman notices a mistletoe and says, "Mistletoe can be deadly." She responds, "But a kiss can be even deadlier." It licks Batman's face like a cat. Batman escapes her grasp and leaves. Then Catwoman argues with Penguin. She thought they were just going to scare the princess. Murder was not part of the plan. But Penguin is happy with how things went and suggests they consummate their partnership. When she rejects his advances, he retaliates by strapping her to a flying umbrella. But she quickly frees herself and lands safely. Batman returns to the Batmobile, unaware of the wire control. Penguin plows the car through citizens and traffic, while Bruce struggles to take control. During the chaos, Penguin speaks to Batman through a video feed, ranting about how he is seeing Gotham. Eventually, Batman locates and removes the Penguin's device. Batman survives the night, but the Penguin's plan was a success. The next day, Batman's reputation is in tatters, and citizens demand Cobblepot take over as mayor. As Cobblepot addresses the public, Bruce remotely jams his frequency, and over the speakers, plays recordings from the previous night. Penguin's rantings to Batman, proving him a crook. The crowd turns on Cobblepot, pelting him with eggs and tomatoes. And as Shrek turns his back on the disgraced mayoral candidate, Cobblepot runs off and returns to his Penguin sanctuary. Then he reveals to his circus gang what he was really up to at the Hall of Records. He collected the names of every firstborn son in Gotham, like he was, and like him, a terrible fate awaits them. While their parents party at Shrek's annual masquerade ball, Penguin's gang will pay their homes a visit, kidnap their sons, and kill them all. At the party, Bruce and Selina dance. He admits he only came to the party to see her, and she admits she only came to kill Max. "Who the hell do you think you are?" Bruce asks. "I don't know anymore, Bruce," she answers. And they kiss, before she notices they're under a mistletoe, and adds, "You know, mistletoe can be deadly." Bruce replies, "But a kiss can be even deadlier." And suddenly, they know each other's true identities. The party is interrupted when Penguin explodes to the floor.
This will be on my YouTube channel.
Goons are coming for their children. Then he takes Shrek and heads back to the sewers, where he holds the man hostage. Above ground, the circus gang loads infants and toddlers onto caged train cars until the Batman appears. The train returns to Penguin with no children, only his monkey helper with a note from Batman. "Dear Penguin, the children regret they're unable to attend." An infuriated Penguin gives a roaring speech to his army of weaponized, mind-controlled penguins and sends them to destroy Gotham. With missile torpedoes strapped to their backs, the flightless birds waddle into the city streets. Meanwhile, Batman heads toward Penguin's lair in his Batboat, and with Alfred's help, takes control of the bird army, jamming Penguin's signal and sending them back the way they came. Then, the hero and villain face each other in a stand-up, surrounded by Penguin's army. But Batman has his own army. A torrent of bats surround Penguin and send him tumbling through the observation window, crashing him into the cold water of his Arctic lair. Meanwhile, the Penguin Army's missiles launch in Penguin's backyard, rather than Gotham Plaza as intended. Underground, Shrek frees himself, only to face Catwoman and the Whip. Before she can kill him, Batman swings in to stop her, hoping to send Max to jail rather than his brain. "Why do this?" Batman asks, approaching the cautious cat. "Let's just take him to the police, then we can go home together." Tears fill her eyes, and Batman adds, "Selina, don't you see? We're the same." He removes his mask and continues. Selina, please. But she refuses. Max has to die. No, Max has other ideas. Max shoots Batman, then Catwoman, 4 times.